Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for joining us. Whether you're watching this recording or whether you're joining us live, we're excited and a little sad. We're going to talk about CS First going away, but then that's when the excitement comes with when we're going to be talking about what's next with Experience CS. So stay tuned. We're going to post the link to the slide deck again. We'll post it in the chat, but we've got it coming up again in a second. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, if you've attended any of our workshops or lessons, you know we always start with our land acknowledgement. And so I would like to acknowledge I'm joining you from Treaty 7 territory in Calgary. I'm so fortunate to be surrounded by the nations like the Blackfoot, Piikani, Kainai, Tsuut'ina, Stoney Nakoda. The Métis are here. Really, truly blessed to be able to live on these great lands. And so I encourage you, take a moment, think about where are you joining us from? And yeah, give that thanks for that. So wonderful. We have a link here that Cami is going to throw into the chat for you. This slide deck is full of a number of resources. Cami will also be putting those in the chat throughout, but grab a copy of the slide deck. It's yours to keep. Got that QR code takes you to the slide deck as well, but certainly you'll want to hang on to these resources. All right. Well, I'm Michelle Armstrong. Like I mentioned, I'm based in Calgary. I'm the director of events for Logix Academy and thrilled to be able to do work today on behalf of Google and CS First. But all things technology, it's pretty cool. And alongside me, we could not do what we do without our amazing consultants, facilitators, Cami Cannikins. Let's hear a little about you.
Well, I come from just down the road from Michelle. She's in Alberta, and I'm in the southeast corner of Alberta from Medicine Hat, and I am a facilitator with Logix, but I'm also a district instructional coach, so I do lots with technology and CS First and all sorts of literacy and robotics and such during the day. So I am here to just be in the chat, so if you have questions or if you have anything that you want to know or we need to stop Michelle and ask her something, I will help us do that.
Awesome. And Cami, as well as me, we are sort of fans of CS First and are going to help you get that all shut down and then definitely help support you with what's next. So enough about us. Like to hear from you. I see there are a few of you joining us live. If you are brave souls, go ahead and let us know who's here. Let us know your name, where you're joining us from. We'll be asking a few questions throughout. But of course, as we know with most teacher PD, especially through the supper hour, you're probably watching this recording. If you have any questions at all, and we don't answer them in this broadcast, we're going to give you info on how you can connect with us after the fact to make sure we get all of your questions answered. All right. No brave souls posting in the chat yet. We will see if we can get them out of the woodwork. Like I mentioned, we are Logix Academy. We are known as one of the nation's largest STEM and robotics provider, and we are also known as a provider of services, PD partners to Microsoft, Minecraft, Apple, and Google, among others. But today, this workshop is coming to you at no cost to you, thanks to the funding that we get from Google Canada, and specifically this lady, Sandy Curry, previously was known as a STEM and Computer Science Outreach Program Manager. It's because of Sandy and her vision that CS First exploded across Canada because we were able to do so much work with her and Google Canada. So huge thank you to Sandy. But now I do need to mention that Sandy Curry, she is now the Generative AI for Educators Program Manager at Google Canada. So her portfolio has changed. And we get to do really cool stuff with Gen AI. And I would like to give a super huge plug to this course. And Cami, if you can put a link to this into the chat as well. So Sandy's initiative alongside us at Logix Academy now is helping educators like you navigate this crazy world of generative AI. And this course, it's free, it's self-paced, it's tool agnostic. If you're using ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini or whatever new tool is coming out next, this course helps you just get a grasp of the foundations of Gen AI. So we encourage you, definitely take a look at this course. There's all sorts of great content in there. You do need to log in to get into the guts of it, but you can use a Google Workspace account or a Gmail account, and it's just awesome. Cami, any other plugs for this course? Because I know you've done it as well.
Yes, it is an excellent course. It takes about 2 hours, maybe a little bit longer, but you don't have to sit down for 2 hours. You can, once you're logged in, you can do a bit, you can come back, you can do some more. You get a certificate at the end. It teaches you how to prompt. It teaches you the basics. It is just such a well-rounded course. It is a super course for anybody to get started. So I'm really trying to get most of my teachers in my district to do this course as a starting spot.
Love it. Awesome. Okay, so that's a plug for this new initiative by Sandy Curry. But again, just a reminder and a thank you. We would not be here if it were not for Sandy's work with CS First. So let's take a look back, shall we? Just for those, if you're just brand new to us at Logix, or you've been along the ride previously when we were Cobblestone Collective. Prior to that, we were EdTech Team. We worked with Google Canada over a 5-year span. We have over 7,000 educators across Canada using CS First because of the work we were able to do with Google Canada. That's over 350 school districts, over 300 workshops and lessons. And we mapped every single CS First unit to Canadian curriculum standards across all provinces. It was pretty great. And Cami, you were a big part of a lot of this work. Anything you want to say here?
Well, yeah, I did lots of the curriculum mapping, and my teachers used CS First, and I did a good percentage of those workshops over the years with all of our different phases. And so it's a product that I believe in, that it's such a great way to get kids coding. And so, that safe environment, that the videos, and then we went to kind of a different, their more modern version that had the pop-ups and the click through, like just such a great way for kids to work at their own pace, to have differentiated. So, there's that kid that struggles, but then there's that other kid that like has coded before, or they just get it. And so they're like making things spin and beep and twirl and do all the things, and the music's going, and then they can do all that, but the other kids might not be that far, and that's okay. CS First, that's so nicely.
It was, absolutely. And stay tuned. We're going to tell you about the what's next, and a lot of those features we're going to see in the what's next. But let's still stay down memory lane. I love that you put that in the chat there. These are just a few testimonials from teachers from across the years. So much love, not only for CS First, but for the lessons that we were able to bring to them. So I just wanted to share that. I know we don't have a lot of people watching us live, but if you are here and you would like to share some feedback about what you loved about CS First, please do. And then this warms my heart. Those of you who've been part of our lessons, we have a student feedback form, all anonymous students. But how fun is it to see some of these student comments? Hi, I'm your fan. I've watched lots of your videos today. Again, just warms my heart that we were able to reach so many people with such a great platform. And so I encourage you, if you are here and you'd like to share just some of your feedback about CS First, please post that in the chat.
Michelle, I'm just going to jump in and say that list of those comments made me think of all the Googlers that we had on the shows with us through Sandy, right? Live Google engineers and programmers who would come on and be role models for students all across Canada and interact with them in code. And, what a great opportunity that was to see talented men and women work in program.
Yeah, and fingers crossed, maybe some of those Googlers we worked with CS First might come and volunteer and join us in our new work. So hold that thought. Cami, what would you say? What's just one other favorite memory? So the Googlers, that was always great, but what's one of your favorite CS First activities or favorite story about, when students were using it? Anything come to mind?
Well, I like my go-tos are often the Google Doodles or code your own name, because kids can start with something so simple, right? The words, the letters that can be, your name or a big name or something. And maybe if you're just the student who's struggling with it, you might make your letters a different color and make them bounce or something. But the others can have like woo, 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 different backgrounds and sound and all the things. And it's just the CS First is so, I guess for me, the differentiation ability, just to have everybody be able to continue and grow, and no one's sitting around saying, well, I'm bored, I'm done. You're never done in CS. That's it. You're never done.
Love that. And we're going to see, something so simple can turn into something so inspiring. And we're going to see the what's next includes that as well. Okay. Well, let's talk just a little bit about CS First. So the next couple of links that actually, Cami, I didn't give you short links for these. So you know what? We won't bother pasting these links into the chat. But as long as you have this slide deck, you'll notice the links on each of these slides takes us to the support articles for all of us who want to shut down our CS First account. And so I kind of give you the high level Cole's notes. CS First, hopefully this is not the first time you're hearing it, but it's closing down June 30th. So this month, just next week. If any of your students want to save their work, we'll get to the next slide and it shows you how we do that. The reason for the shutdown, they feel that there are so many platforms now out there that are really doing what CS First intended to do. And so now they're ready to just say, okay, let's let the others shine, and away they go. So that's on that site. And then the future alternative, they mention Experience CS, which we're going to dive into at the end. But that full blog post sort of just about that why it's being turned down is on the link on that slide there. Next one, there's a link down at the bottom of this slide, but also from that main support article that dives into the specifics. How are you going to save your student work? We're not going to dive into specifically all these hows. Know that they are in that support article, but ultimately you or your students can just go File, Save to My Computer, and save those SB3 files. My recommendation for right now, put them all in a Google Drive folder or a OneDrive folder, and then we'll see maybe what we can do with them after we see what Experience CS looks like. And then the last thing, and then Cami, I'm going to let you dive in just to give some of your advice for these processes. Actually, before we do, so this next whole page is all about kind of deleting the data. And so that gets a little bit technical, but maybe Cami, just as far as moving student projects goes, any comments from that side of things?
Well, Michelle and I were talking a little bit earlier. So maybe you've got a grade 3 class. You're going to, if you download those into a spreadsheet, keep that around, right? Because you never know what those kids might be doing in grade 4 or what that would look like. As far as the students go too, if they are downloading their work, you could have them create a folder in their Google Drive with a name and put their well-named files in there. So often, the reason I say the name part, Michelle, is so often when we have our students move things in and out of their Google Drive, they get whatever the random name is, maybe untitled.
Untitled project.
Well, I think there are lots of untitled projects in our CS Firsts.
Yeah.
Right? We have all these untitled projects. So if you do have your students download them and keep them in their own folder, in their own Google Drive, have them name them.
Yeah. Great thinking for sure. Yeah. And then just to dive in, because I know I sped through it, but your two options. So you've got them in a folder, but then you're going to need to upload those files somewhere if you want to work with them again. option one is in kind of the open Scratch universe. Perhaps you as a teacher may choose to create your own Scratch account and put student projects in there. There is some question as to, what age of students we want to have inside Scratch, just given it is wide open. It's not locked down like our CS First universe was. Any comments on just on the use of Scratch, Cami? Advice?
I think there probably are teachers that are out there using Scratch because they don't realize that there are safer alternatives. When we used CS First, so it was Scratch, actual Scratch inside of a walled Google environment that also had a layer of how to do the things, right? The videos and the instructions. So that was the CS First layer. In Scratch, it's, kids can experiment and play. But again, we just do have to be mindful that it doesn't have the privacy and protections of our teacher classroom that we are used to as CS First.
Yeah, exactly. Students sometimes can comment on other students' work, regardless of if they even know that student.
Right. That's a great, I'm glad you framed it that way, because that's right. And so, you might think you're chatting or commenting on the work of a 9-year-old kid from Quebec, but person could be anybody. So it's just a little bit more of an open environment. And so before you just say, oh, well, we don't need CS First anymore, I'm just going to go to Scratch, you will want to hear about our next option, because it's going to be, again, a more safe environment. And that's ultimately what we are after.
Exactly. And so this the next is called Experience CS. It's not fully finalized yet, so we're not 100% familiar with what kind of upload capabilities. We absolutely know you'll be able to upload those SP3 files for sure. It's just we're not exactly sure how we'll be able to share those within the platform, but we do know it's going to be an awesome, safe environment. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so then the next support article that I wanted to talk about, it gets a tiny bit geeky, and depending on how concerned you are about your data or the data that's in there for your students, you can completely delete your entire CS First account. This also deletes anything connected to Applied Digital Skills, which that was new for me. And then there is an export feature where you can export a JSON file. This is the geeky part. But ultimately, that export just gives you a spreadsheet. Here's all of the assignments you did. Here's all of the responses to your student surveys. Me personally, I didn't necessarily find value in all of that granular detail, but just want to let you know that option is out there.
So, Michelle, do I hear you say that JSON file doesn't have the code for the projects? It's the platform information, the survey, the site details, as opposed to the actual code for the students' projects.
Correct. So exactly. So it gives you data on what students, what assignments they were working on, but then it only links you to the actual CS First unit. It does not link to any student projects, which is too bad, because that would have been kind of handy. It also mentioned, the support article says that the survey information isn't in that JSON file, but I actually found that it was. This is just the geeky hack. I didn't really know what a JSON file was. So of course I asked my friends out there in AI, can you do something with this file for me? And so it did. It gave me a spreadsheet, and there's a link on that page if you really want to see the type of data that you get from that spreadsheet. But food for thought. It's up to you. Cami, did you have you deleted your account? Any plans to?
I haven't. Mostly because I don't have a ton of student data. I've got, one-offs, right? Like usually students would do 1 or 2 lessons with me. And so I haven't yet. That doesn't mean I won't, but.
Yeah. No, and I feel the same way. Like I didn't feel like there was really any of my data in there that I was too worried about. All of the students that I used had the anonymous usernames and passwords. I'm not certain if you've connected through Google Classroom. I'm not certain what that data looks like, so it might be worth checking out. But yeah, that didn't concern me too much. Now, the one thing that did concern me the most, and it's not found anywhere in those support articles, and I think I'm allowed to tell you all of this. The one thing I was most concerned about, I love those videos. I love some of those starter projects. I want to keep those. And so I and my team here at Logix, we've downloaded every video. We've made copies of every lesson plan, and we have I've only taken the starter projects for the Google logo, as well as Codrone Hero, because those have sprites that you can't find in the regular Scratch universe. But you'll find all of that in the link that Cammie's going to throw that link into the chat for you.
Michelle, Tanya has a question for us, and she's asking what about the instructional videos like CS First. She said her students actually preferred the older model of the videos compared to the newer written instructions with the click instructions. And I think she probably wasn't the only one. But as far as, well, you go ahead, Michelle, take that one.
No problem. So Tanya, thank you for that, the question. As far as it stands right now, the content inside Experience CS, you've got your lesson plans, you're going to have teacher slide decks. So it's very teacher-led instruction. That being said, we are very, very, very hopeful that at Logix Academy, we're going to be able to produce our co-taught lesson model similar to what we've done in the past, where you'll be able to tune into us and we'll be able to give those instructions. And so that's where the students will be able to learn from our videos, or they can take those and watch them on their own. But as far as we understand, there's no plan for similar CS First style instructional videos yet. Hopefully Logix will fill that hole for you. So thanks for asking that question. Awesome. Oh, Tanya, you've got all the great questions. I love it. Do you know what, Tanya? Hold that thought, because let's dive into what's next, I think, and then we're going to dive into exactly the question you have. So before we leave, how do I shut down CS First? Cammie, is there anything maybe I might have missed that we're forgetting about CS First shutdown?
Well, I think, June 30th is the date. If you do nothing, basically it's kind of like when Jamboard went away, like you can't get in, you don't have access. So if you don't do anything, you won't be able to go back, find anything, click on, you lose access, even if you haven't deleted your information in your account. Yeah. But you are able to go in and delete that if you feel better about that. So.
Yeah. And then I want to go back just to make sure we didn't miss this. This to me is the most important link. But Cammie, if you can throw that link into the chat. So all of the lesson recordings, all of the copies of the lessons, and then a couple of the starter projects are all inside that folder there that Cammie's going to paste for you. Wonderful. Okay. Looking ahead. So Tanya, this is where we're going to get to your question. The replacement for CS First is called Experience CS, and you can access Experience CS right now. There's only 2 lessons available, which I'm going to dive into those in just a second. But ultimately, Experience CS is this answer to a locked down version of Scratch, very similar to CS First. So your teacher, you will have your teacher dashboard. You will be able to add your students to your class. And yes, Google Classroom integration is coming. It doesn't exist currently and may not exist for the start of the school year, but definitely it's on their roadmap. But just know it's going to be a place where you and your students can work together inside Lockdown Scratch, and you'll be able to see your student projects as well.
Well, Michelle, sorry. One of the things to note is that it is still it's the new Google partner, right? So they've Google isn't as involved, but it's still a Google partner. So those integrations with Classroom, those types of things, into Google Drive will still be part of what we find there and they're still building it.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Cami. So what you'll notice on this slide, it says with support from google.org. So google.org has given Raspberry Pi sort of their blessing and some financial support to help all of us that know and love CS First to have something else. And they're going to be supporting Raspberry Pi for the next 3 years. And so it's starting, it's going to be a work in progress. But over the next 3 years, we're going to have a pretty awesome resource thanks to google.org. So great point on that, Cami. Thank you. So they're currently on Experience CS. You're going to see that there are 6 lessons. Currently, only 2 of them are fully fleshed out, if you will. I think, if rumor has it correct, by this coming Thursday, I think all 6 will be fully complete. Don't quote me on that, but pretty sure they're going to announce that all 6 of those are ready to go as of this Thursday. We'll dive into, actually, these screenshots basically are everything that I can show you live. So let me just zip through here. Cami, can you just stop this screen share and go over to my other computer?
Okay.
Or my other screen share? Perfect. Wonderful. Awesome. Yeah. So this is what you can access right now. If you go to the Experience CS website, you're going to click on Explore the Curriculum, and this is exactly what it looks like. Nice, user-friendly, cute pictures. But the 2 units that are ready to go right now are the Me project, which is grade 4 art and language arts. So I love that they are telling you what grade level it's most appropriate for. And then the other one is Smart Communities. This is a grade 6 activity designed for science and technology. The rest of them, like I say, which I think are going to be launched later this week, we're going all the way from grade 3, but bringing in concepts of science and math. Grade 5, social studies. We've got grade 8 social studies. So Experience CS is doing a really great job of integrating coding and computer science into our core curriculum subjects. Now, let's just dive into the Me project just really quickly. Let's just see if this is it. Yes, so this is the Me project. Every Experience CS lesson is going to look and feel pretty much the same. You've got a general overview. Then you have the full unit overview. So I'm going to click on the unit overview. Every one of those 6 activities has the unit overview there for you right now. So you can get a sense for, what's the unit all about? But it goes through and it tells you there's 5, 6, 7, 8 total lessons that start. This one's a really cool one because it actually just starts looking at the sprites, looking at the paint tools. So nice, easy access for those students that maybe haven't done coding before, and then gradually gets into more difficult concepts. So that's the unit overview. So I encourage you all dive in and check out all the unit overviews. And then, so for the Me project, this one is complete. And it gives you all 8 of those lessons. And then we go into each of the lessons. We're going to explore some costumes in Scratch. When we say try it out, again, pretty easy to follow. One thing that Experience CS has done is they've aligned all of these lessons to the computer science and technology standards, CSTA standards in the States, national art standards. You're also going to see there's some Common Core standards as well. Granted, these are US-based curriculum, but still great. Fingers crossed, hopefully we'll be able to see Logix Academy helping align these to our Canadian curriculums as well. Okay, we've got curriculum alignment. Each of the activities, the lessons, each have a lesson plan. They have some assessment strategies and rubrics for you. Hooray! And then every lesson has a slide deck for you. So I just want to pop quickly into the slide deck to give you an idea. Again, they all look fairly similar, but Experience CS has now done all of the work for you, educators. That you can go through this step by step with your students. It tells you how long things are going to take. They go through some vocabulary. There will be a couple of videos in here, and these videos, as far as I understand, are sort of explaining the why of this lesson. They're not going to be the step by step like we saw in CS First, but they'll explain that why. So that's going to be the video. And then they give activities for your students. And so you, as the educator, can kind of help your students, guide your students through the lessons. And then here's the starter projects, similar to what we saw in CS First. I'll jump into Let's Explore Scratch. So once our students have access to this, let me just see where that one went. There we go. This takes us into our code editor, and we're still inside the Raspberry Pi Experience CS website.
That looks familiar, Michelle.
I know, right? It gives us the instructions on the side. So this is where our students will be able to jump in here. They've got their starter project. They see what they're supposed to be doing. You as the teacher will have the rubric for assessment, and away we go. So I know that's kind of a nutshell overview of what to expect. Cami, anything else to add about that?
Oh, did I? No, I just had my mic on it. Yeah. So one of the things that was comforting when I first saw this, and I was kind of hoping for this, was that it feels the same as CS First, right? So you can see even the whole layup, it's Scratch, right? We've got the stage and the backdrops, the sound, everything's in the same place. My take, Michelle, is I wonder if it matches your take with that instruction pop out that you just had open. My understanding is that will be less robust, perhaps we could say.
As far as I understand. Yep, exactly.
At least at this point.
Exactly. At least at this point. That being said, the materials that Experience CS is giving us, those slide decks, those assessment rubrics, they're also giving us some planning sheets and things like that. Those are much more robust than what we saw in CS First. So, yep, great question, great point. The one thing I'm going to point out, if you are trying this currently on an iPad or on a mobile device, that instruction pane kind of doesn't work or does, just know Experience CS is well aware that they've got a couple of bugs still from the mobile version, but they assure us come school startup in the fall, all of that will be mobile friendly. Chromebooks, iPads, you name it, it will work. So that's exciting. Cami, you want to take us back to my slide deck?
Certainly.
Perfect. So definitely encourage all of you to explore the lessons that are there, poke through all of the resources that they're providing us, check back on Thursday, and maybe all of those lessons be ready to go. But the one sort of unknown, I guess, if you will, is the teacher dashboard. So the teacher dashboard is not ready yet. Student access to any of this, as far as I know, is not ready yet. The only way to access this is by creating a Raspberry Pi login, and you have to be 13 or older to have a Raspberry Pi login. So this is great for teachers, but we've got to wait probably until mid-August before we're able to get our students in there. But rest assured, it is coming. When we have this teacher dashboard, my understanding as well is that we'll be uploading our students using a CSV file, a spreadsheet, which is actually kind of great. We don't have to put actual student information. We don't have to put an email account. We can put whatever our code names for our students are into a spreadsheet, and then we'll be able to upload those into Experience CS. So and then,
so instead of logging in with Google, where we are giving them our information, it'll be a CSV upload.
CSV upload, yes, as far as we understand, which is also great, especially those of you that are in those Microsoft districts that struggle with the Google login. So this is not such a terrible scenario. But they did mention that, yes, Google Classroom integration is on the roadmap, just not exactly sure the timeline. And we'll be able to see student work from within the dashboard. And this is the exciting part, but I don't know enough about it. But I'm pretty sure they said we'll be able to comment on our student work from right within the dashboard, which I know was something we couldn't do in CS First. So super exciting about that. Excellent. So stay tuned. That's coming in August. These are some screenshots that I just took from a webinar that I did with Experience CS. So kind of a simple dashboard. You will have a school login code of sorts. You can set different classes. You're going to see all the projects assigned to each class. And then the student version of this, you'll see any projects that the student has been working on. You're going to see that inside the dashboard on that page there. But if you do want super detailed info straight from the source, Cammie's going to just put a link to a recording that Experience CS did for us a couple weeks ago. So very informative for sure. And then you get to meet the team behind Experience CS. They are lovely, answered all sorts of questions. What else, Cammie? I guess, yeah, like I mentioned, in September, Logix Academy, we are working directly with the Experience CS team. We are hoping that we will be able to bring our co-taught lesson programming and teacher PD to our Canadian audience, and of course, anyone else who happens to stop by. But we'd love to just, if you have any feedback for the Experience CS team and you want to kind of help them recognize that, yes, we do great programming. Say the word, hopefully they will hear us. But Cammie, tell me, I'll put you on the spot.
Well, it's my understanding that this will be in September. They're going to have it as ready as they can. Michelle said that they're adding more complete modules or units all the time so that you can take a look at it over the summer and become familiar with. But at least when I attended that session, Michelle, I got the sense that they are knowing that as they go forward, they, instead of just having everything ready for September and hoping that they get what teachers want, they're saying, okay, we're going to have like the basics where we can get and we can start, but then we're going to build, as most new products do, we're going to build out with what we're hearing are the most desired pieces that they can do within the realm of what they've committed to programming wise. So instead of promising a perfect product September 1st, they're going to have a usable product and then continue to fine tune to go from there. Is that what you gathered as well?
Oh, absolutely. And the example they gave is they've heard, hey, where's the game design unit? And so they're, okay, we're on it. We're going to develop a game design unit. So those are the kind of things that they want to hear about it. If you send it to us, we'll be sure to get them that info as well. But yeah, Cammie, that's for sure. They know that there's lots out there and they want to hear what we want. So that's, yeah, a great point. With that, Cammie, I mean, if there are any questions, it looks like I say, we don't have a lot of you joining us live. Those of you out there watching the recording, I'm going to show you in just a minute how you can get your questions to us. But Cammie, is there anything maybe I missed or a question that you think people might have? Oh, thank you, Tanya.
I think just the best advice would be to just get into the program and poke around, play around. It'll feel very much like Scratch, but kick the tires and see, well, how is it different than CS First? What does that look like? And just like I said, I think you'll find lots of similarities, but just get to know what it's like.
Yeah. Awesome. And Tanya, congratulations. I can't believe you're the tech lead at your school. That's awesome. And thanks for joining us. Let me just zip through a couple of last things. Again, a huge shout out to Sandy Curry. I said it earlier. I'll just say it again. It was just such a pleasure being able to work on CS First. And now moving on to Gen AI for educators. I did put these slides in here again. In case you missed it at the beginning, definitely check out the Gen AI for Educators course as kind of a foundations of AI. And then whether you're here live or whether you're here watching the recording, could you please just take 2 minutes? I promise 2 minutes is hopefully all this will take. But your feedback is important, especially for this workshop. It's important for all of them. But this one, the Experience Yes team wants to hear, how you're feeling and whether you're set up for success going into the next school year. We want to hear how can we support you with this next iteration of computer science for our students. So please take a moment, fill out the feedback form. And like I promised, there's an email address right there, events@logixacademy.com. I know there were over 100 people that wanted to tune into this workshop, so chances are really good you're watching the recording. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you. But please email us at events@logixacademy.com if you have any questions, concerns, complaints, kudos, all of those things. But for sure, just we'd love to hear from you. With that, Cami, this is it.
I'm going to pop the deck in there one more time so you have all those links to the recording, to all the support pages, the great downloads that Logix has provided for you to keep some of that content from before. There's the link to get that resource-rich slide deck.
And that's it. And that's a wrap. And so we're here to help. We're not going to take any more of your time. So thank you for joining us. Tanya, thank you so much for being here live. Thank you all of you that tuned into the recording. Thank you, Cami. It's always such a pleasure working with you, has been for CS First, and I'm excited to work with you more with Experience CS. So glad to have you here. And we'll see you.
All righty.
All right. Wonderful. Thanks, everyone. Take care.